This is the second tape of a two-part videotape series designed for intermediate to advanced drumming levels. We'll cover the more complex rhythmical patterns and rudiments through individual instruction exercises, and will later perform these exercises with the full ensemble. Tape 1 covered technique development through single hand patterns, alternate sticking patterns, and duple beats. We're now ready to move on to single and double beat combinations. And the most common single-double beat combination is one of our essential rudiments, the paradiddle, which is comprised of 2 single beats and 1 double. Paradiddle, paradiddle, right, left, left, left. The following exercise covers the entire diddle rudiment family: paradiddle, double paradiddle, triple paradiddle, and paradiddle diddle. Single-double combinations are very important for developing coordination and flexibility in any musical situation, and you can even change the texture of many different accent patterns by just the sticking. The following 2 exercises show some of the variations on these types of sticking patterns. The most important rudimental pattern for any drummer or percussionist to be able to perform well is the roll, and all its variations, including drag patterns and roughs. I like to start with alternating 16th notes and double them into 32nd notes, and I call this process building rolls. We start by doubling just 1/16th note at a time and then add in sequential doublings to construct roll variations such as 5-stroke roll, 6-stroke roll, 7, 9-stroke, and eventually all the extended roll patterns of longer duration. Begin these exercises at slower tempos to achieve smoothness and evenness. Once you've achieved good control at slower tempos, gradually accelerate your speed until a smooth, sustained roll sound is developed. Triplet rolls use the same doubling concept as duplet rolls. The only difference is you use eighth note triplets as your base for doubling. And again, remind yourself that accuracy is more important than speed. Now we're going to build a sequence of different roll patterns into a musical phrase. This exercise utilizes 5-stroke rolls, 6, 7, 9, 15, and 17-stroke rolls. Multiple bounce rolls are commonly used in percussion music, especially in concert band and orchestra. The biggest difference between the open roll and the closed or multiple bounce roll is the technique of the multiple bounce. Work on each hand individually to achieve a pressure release action that produces multiple bounces. Let's take a look at this technique. Here's the right hand. Add a slight bit of pressure between the thumb and index finger. When the stick strikes the drum head, release the pressure to create multiple bounces. When playing multiple bounce rolls in musical passages, the tempo will indicate what speed the roll should be played to keep a good sustained sound. At slower tempos, use 16th note triplets as the basis for motion. At medium tempos, use 16th notes as your gauge. And at faster tempos, use 8th note triplets for your rhythmical foundation. Flams are one of the most difficult rudiments to play correctly, mainly because of the low grace note that comes before the stroke. So many students play flat flams, that is, hitting the grace note and the stroke together, because they haven't learned to control the grace note. Here's how to practice playing flams. Isolate the grace note from the stroke and play it by itself. Keep the grace note low and simply drop it from its resting position of 1 to 2 inches above the head. Once you feel comfortable with the grace note, add the stroke. The height of the grace note should not be affected by the height of the stroke. Once you've mastered isolated flams, try experimenting with the other flam rudiments, such as the flam accent. Or the flam tap. The flamacue, the flam paradiddle, and the Swiss Army triplet. Flams add a lot of variety to rhythm patterns, but they're not easy and require a lot of practice time. Backsticking is a very popular visual effect because of the flash of the sticks moving back and forth. Begin practicing backsticking with one hand at a time. The stick should pivot at the fulcrum between the thumb and index finger. Slightly rotate the wrist to the outside to keep a straight line motion. And the volume of the backstick beat should be consistent with the volume of the regular beat. Single-double combinations are the best pattern for backsticking because the double beat allows time for the single beat to move into or out of a backstick. Let's look at single right, double left. Now double right, single left. Sixteenth note triplets are especially effective for backsticking because of the faster speed. The sticking still remains a combination of single and double beats. The modern field percussion ensemble utilizes many kinds of instruments in their performances. The snare drum section, the tim-tom section, which usually comprises of trios or quads, the pitch bass drum section, the cymbal section, and a vast array of keyboard and accessory instruments. But of all the sections that comprise the field percussion ensemble, none is more important than the bass drum section. It's this section's responsibility to maintain pulse and tempo, and because each individual bass drummer contributes only one part of the total bass voice, timing is the most important attribute for players in this section. Exercises for tuned bass drums should be a good mix of unison and split parts. Developing a bass drum section requires individuals who can work well together, think fast, and have a well-developed sense of time. The cymbal section adds coloristic sounds and visual flash to the field percussion ensemble. Highlighting accents and emphasizing climactic musical phrases are only a beginning. By using various visual effects, such as fans in unison or in sequence, allows the cymbal section to contribute to the overall enhancement of any musical production. The ensemble section of this tape will take us through the entire gamut of the advanced exercises. Play along with the ensemble and gauge your own ability level. Developing the techniques required to perform these exercises takes a long time, so don't get frustrated if you can't get something right away. Many of these patterns take years to perfect, and it's just a matter of developing good practice habits. Always remember that concentration and consistency are the keys to developing great musicality, and as always, enjoy the experience.